Hey guys, this is a new review that's going to be different than my usual reviews because this one's actually more of an action camera than a dash camera. As you can see, it looks just like a GoPro and it's called the Blackview Hero 1. So this company seems to not have an issue calling it the Hero 1, which is what obviously GoPro calls their cameras, the Hero. And it's even funnier that it's called Blackview VIEW, similar to Blackview, the dashcam company from South Korea. But while this is obviously targeting people who want something like a GoPro, it does actually have a looped recording mode. So I'm going to test it as a dash camera, but also test it outside more as an action camera. What's pretty impressive about this camera though is it does have 1296p at 30 frames per second and also 1080p 60. Now this is going to be a direct competitor to the GoPro Hero, which is the $130 GoPro, which has 1080p 30 or 720p 60. Now this is $140 on GearBest.com, who kindly sent this to me for review, so I'll provide a link down below if you're interested in purchasing this. And the GoPro Hero is $130 currently on Amazon. But considering some of the special features that this camera has and all of the accessories that you'll see come bundled with this, it's pretty great. But I don't have a GoPro Hero to compare it to directly. And there's going to be a lot more to image quality than just the frame rate or the resolution. So this very well might not have as good quality as the GoPro Hero, but like I said, I don't have one, so I can't compare it. Either way, this is my first action camera that I would consider besides the Mobius or Inav, which those I feel like were targeted more towards dashcam users. But based on my first impressions, this camera is a real good value, at least for decent quality from what I've seen so far. It also has an LCD built into the back, which the GoPro Hero doesn't, so this camera really does pack a lot of features and a lot of accessories. So let's go ahead and open it up and I'll show you what comes with it. I was a little disappointed that the camera came loose, so it was rocking around like that. Even when I opened the package, I could hear it rattling inside. I would assume that's not going to be typical though. This did come from China, so it did come a long ways. So somehow that came loose. And this is actually the first time I've used a GoPro style mount, so a lot of this is new to me. I've always wanted to get a GoPro, and the $130 Hero tempted me, but I just never got around to it. So here you can see the charging cable. Charges with micro USB. Here's the battery for it. So the battery is removable. Has a little ribbon on the side to make it easier to pull out. Now here's the little quick start guide or manual. As usual, I'm not going to actually go through it, but it seems to be okay. Now when you open it, you'll see it's just completely packed full of stuff. So I'm just going to pull it all out. Because it really is packed full of different accessories. So I really feel like this did come with pretty much everything I would need. It comes with a couple different types of mounts, it comes with different adapters, and it comes with even 3/4 inch adapters, which I really like. So it has a waterproof case, and then it has the vented back door. I never would have known if I didn't read reviews that the extra clear plastic door is actually vented, so do not put that on and expect it to be waterproof because you'll kill the camera. So there's the camera. Looks just like a GoPro as expected. Same form factor pretty much. There's a HDMI port, micro USB and micro SD card slot. Up and down buttons for the menu, OK for the menu or starting recording, and the power on the front just like a GoPro. So let's go ahead and place the battery inside. This battery cover is a little looser than I was anticipating, or would prefer. I actually dropped it inside my car once. But inside the case it should be okay. So like I said, this one is vented on the sides, so don't mistake this for being waterproof. It's a quick way to kill the camera. So here's a holder for it if you don't want it in the waterproof case. So I'll be using this in my car at first just to test it out as a dash camera. Has a standard 1/4 inch tripod mount. So far though, it seems like pretty good quality. I would assume the factory then makes this, also makes GoPros because it's so similar. There you can see the buttons are usable when it's in the waterproof case, as they should. So like I said before, this was the power cord and adapter. Now we got a couple different mounts. One has the tripod mount again, that one doesn't. So pretty much exactly like the GoPro. The accessories are the same, so they are compatible with other GoPro accessories. So I'm just trying to look through this all, see what the differences are. Here you can see the bottom piece can screw onto a 1/4 inch adapter or tripod mount. This one is a extended arm for the standard GoPro mount. Some adapters. You can see one's just an extension, one's a 90-degree angle. Here's a bar mount, so that'll come in handy on my bicycle. Now this clip here snaps onto the back of the non-waterproof holder. If you put it in there, you'll be able to clip it onto stuff, and for example, if you're wearing a vest, you could wear it as a body camera, but it's not waterproof, so you do have to take that into consideration. But it does keep it pretty flat up against your chest if that's what you're intending. Oh, here's a bunch of Velcro straps, some cable ties, a metal wire tie, more adhesives, and several wiping lens cloths even. So it does come with a lot of stuff, like I said. Based on my short time with the camera, I really feel like this is actually worth it over the GoPro Hero. For just $10 more, you're getting up to 1296p or 1080p 60, plus with the Wi-Fi LiveView app, and supports up to 64 gigabytes versus 32 gigabytes, and the built-in LCD. It seems like a pretty good value. But like I said before, I'm not totally sure if the video quality is actually worse or not. But here I am testing it in my car, and you can see this is the 1080p 60. Now, all of this is going to be 1080p because of the YouTube upload and my video editor, but I will upload some separate clips. Now, the first thing I noticed was it never seems to focus very far away. I do like the 60 frames per second, but it's possible that my Blackview camera and the cell lot LED security light is messing with the focus a little bit. But even when I moved it to different places on my windshield, it didn't seem to focus far enough. And I think the big issue is this really isn't designed to be a dash camera. But obviously my YouTube channel is based on dash cameras, and this does actually have the looping recording. When it turns on, it actually even shows a car, just like a lot of other Chinese cameras. It shows a red Corvette or some sort of sports car. So it seems like they were designing it for dash cameras in mind, but it doesn't have the auto record. So if I plug it in and turn my car on, once it powers up, it doesn't actually start recording automatically. So I'm not sure what that blue mark is. I tried cleaning it off with some rubbing alcohol and it wouldn't come off. So there's the red car I was talking about. Looked like it was a Mercedes. But I'll quickly show you the menu. So we got the resolution, the quality. Now it doesn't say what the bitrate is in the menu, but you can just assume that superfine is going to be the highest bitrate. So here we got the looped recording, like I mentioned before, and the mic on or off. So the resolution, you can get 1296p, 1080p 60 or 30, 720p 60 or 30, and some other settings. We got languages. There's 4 different languages. Some date and time settings, format. I'm going to quickly format this card also. Default settings, auto power off. So that means if your camera isn't recording, it'll turn off eventually to save the battery. Anti-flicker, the button sound on or off, and then the firmware. So it's a pretty standard menu. It's actually the same menu as some other Chinese cameras, so it's a pretty generic operating system. But again, this camera is not really going to be for dash cam use. I was tempted to use it as one because it has the loop recording, but like I said, when you have it plugged into your car and you start your car, it doesn't automatically start recording, and that's not an option in the menu either. So that's a big issue. I think maybe if you want to buy an action camera and also want a dash camera but don't want 2 devices, this could serve your purpose, but don't expect it to be convenient. You're going to have to put it up on your window with a suction cup mount, and every single time you're going to have to hit record. And if you've been using it in the past without the looped recording, you're going to have to go into the menu and select the looped recording. So it's not convenient at all as a dash camera. Now this shot, my dash might actually be messing with exposure. Because of the light coming from my dashboard, it could be making the outside image darker, but even with that, my headlights light up the road very well, and if you've seen my other video reviews, some cheaper cameras will be almost complete darkness even with my headlights on at night. So overall I thought this was okay at night. But like I said, this isn't ideal for a dash camera, so I did try to take it out and use it outdoors in the waterproof case. Tried throwing it in the water a little bit, and it seems to be good enough quality for me for a $140 camera with how many features and accessories it packs. But I am now tempted to try the GoPro Hero to see if the video quality is any better. One thing that sort of annoyed me is the fisheye effect, because when I move the camera left or right quite a bit, you'll see that the picture is pretty warped. but that's pretty much expected for a lot of very wide angle lens action cameras. It's definitely pretty cool though, considering I've used different camcorders, video cameras on fishing trips or hiking, camping trips, and this is way better quality than any of my $400 to $600 cameras just 6-7 years ago. So I'm pretty happy with this. Now I came to this spot because during certain times of the year you'll actually see a lot of salmon and trout. During the fall, pretty big salmon will be jumping up these rapids, so it's a river I like to visit. You can't fish in this river because it's protected, and there's a DNR hatchery right here, so they actually capture fish and breed them and spawn them and then release them back. So it's a pretty cool spot to visit, and you'll typically see some pretty impressive salmon in the fall and sometimes trout in the spring. I accidentally had the volume muted, or the recording muted, which I'm a little disappointed about because I was several hours away from this river, or where I live, and it's not an easy trip to make again, but overall the volume or audio recording is decent. Obviously inside the waterproof case it's not going to be as good though. So like I mentioned before though, it doesn't seem to focus very far, and I really wish it would focus further out or have a wider range of focus, because a lot of those trees in the background seem blurry to me, and even anything past 40 feet seems a little too blurry or out of focus, so I'm a little disappointed with that. But overall, for a cheap action camera with all the accessories and features it comes with, it seems pretty nice. I really feel like this is something that's a value bundle. I hope in the future to be able to compare this to a GoPro. I don't want to compare this to something like the 4K GoPro because that's clearly going to be out of this camera's league, but comparing it to the GoPro Hero, which is competitively priced, is something I look forward to testing out. But like I said before, with how many features this camera has, like the 1296p30, 1080p 60, the Wi-Fi live viewing app, the LCD screen built in, and all of the accessories that comes with it, it seems like a very good value, at least for a clone or knockoff product. And I wouldn't even call it a knockoff other than the name, because it's definitely passable quality. I'm probably actually going to continue using this, because as much as I want to get the 4K GoPro or the 4K Sony action camera, those are $500 to $600 depending on which one you get. So for what this comes with, it's like I really feel like I get a complete package and don't have to buy a bunch of other accessories with the GoPro Hero or the cheaper Sony action camera. So overall I'm pretty satisfied with this, but anyone that's used GoPros or the Sony action camera, I'd love to hear your opinion. Comment down below. If you have any recommendations, I'd love to hear them. As usual, if you like this video or my other videos, I'd appreciate if you hit like and subscribe. Drive safe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.